So let's take a look at who the most impactful people are, player or coach, within the Big Ten Conference title race this upcoming season. Now, full transparency, I did my very best to limit this list to the least amount of QBs possible. You could name a quarterback for every single most impactful person when it comes to the Big Ten. We try not to do that. But with that caveat, we're starting with the quarterback in Ohio State's Will Howard. Arguably the most impactful person when it comes to the Big Ten Conference in 2024. The task for him, man, can you make Ohio State's offense elite again? Not good. They were good last year. 30 points a game. A lot of schools would kill to be 30 points a game. Ohio State's not good enough. They expect somewhere in the range in the neighborhood of 40. The reason why that's so important, you got a championship-level defense. You bring in the best player in the transfer portal, and Caleb Downs from Alabama, and you add him to a defense that was already top 5 last year, and oh, by the way, they bring back just about everybody. So that defense is going to be more than good enough to get the job done. Is Will Howard the upgrade from Kyle McCord that you believe he is to get you over the hump and to accomplish what you want to accomplish? The thing that I love about Will Howard, outside of what he brings to you on the field, his mobility is a big factor, his experience is a big factor, but the fact that he is inviting the pressure that Ohio State presents. Will Howard has some options now. Sounds like he could have gone to USC at one point in time. Have to believe there were other suitors for Will Howard that were blowing up his phone. I know he visited Miami as well. He is inviting the pressure individually and on a macro level that comes with Ohio State. Because Ohio State as a team, the expectations are what they are. This is the year to go do it. Whether that's fair or not, whether that's reasonable or not, this is the year for Ohio State to go win a national championship because of what I just mentioned. But individually for him, he gets it, man. Like, this is his last shot. This is his last shot to make an audition and a good impression for his NFL prospects. And he chose a very visible brand, a very visible spot as the quarterback at Ohio State in a place where the expectations are sky high for that position specifically. I mean, if you think about it this way, Ryan Day has established a standard of if you play quarterback here, you are going to be a Heisman Trophy finalist, you're going to be a first-round draft pick. Kyle McCord did not measure up to that last year, was not guaranteed the starting spot going into 2024. Hey, if you don't want to battle for your spot, I don't know exactly how that conversation happened, so I want to tread lightly there. But if we're, Kyle McCord, hey, you're not guaranteed the spot, he goes to the transfer portal. Extremely, extremely high-pressure spot, and Will Howard, I think, is cut out for it. But regardless, whether he thrives or whether he has issues, it's going to have a major impact on that conference title race. Penn State's wide receiver, Keandre Lambert-Smith, another major, major impact individual this coming season. He has the responsibility of adding that extra gear to Penn State's offense. Keandre Lambert-Smith, kind of that deep threat guy for you. Last year for Penn State, it was obvious. They had one speed. It was Nick Singleton. It was Katron Allen. Had some play action mixed in there at times, but for the most part, Penn State had to win with defense. When they played equal competition from a roster perspective, they had to win with defense. They were 6.7 yards a pass in 2023, good for 86th in the country. Translation, not good enough to win the Big Ten. If that number is going to increase, it's going to be, I would have to believe, in large part due to Keandre Lambert-Smith's abilities. Same thing we said about Ohio State is true for Penn State. That defense, I believe, is going to be good enough to keep you in contention for that conference title. Top 25 returning production from a season ago. You got to score to win the Big Ten. Got to score. There's no way around it. You have to beat Ohio State. You have a game at USC. To beat teams like that, you probably have to get into, I don't know if a track meet is the word I would use, but you have to score north of 30. Last year, Penn State was not doing that, and the games needed to do that. So Keandre Lambert-Smith, maximizing Drew Aller, maximizing the play action from that run game, he's going to be a very, very big part of that. Real deal speed, too, with Keandre Lambert-Smith. Let's talk about Michigan here. The most impactful person in their building, for my money, outside of Sharon Moore, outside of Wink Martindale, you could name both those guys, but Michigan running back Donovan Edwards is going to have a massive role in 2024. He is obviously going to get a larger amount of carries with Blake Corum gone to the NFL, but let's not get it twisted now. Just because it's a new head coach with Sharon Moore doesn't mean that identity with them offensively is going anywhere. It is still going to be a run-first operation. It is still going to be run the football downhill, make you say uncle for 4 quarters, and Donovan Edwards will have a large part in doing that. They were a 60% run the football team in 2023. A lot more that's going to fall on Donovan Edwards' shoulders, like I mentioned. The thing with this for me that's interesting, if I'm Michigan, J.J. McCarthy's gone to the league as well. So whether you go to the portal post-spring, whether you go with Jack Tuttle, whether it's Alex Orji, somebody new is taking snaps for you in Ann Arbor. So the best way to take pressure off a new quarterback is what? Run the football. Power right, power left. If Donovan Edwards can be effective enough in doing that and give this quarterback some room to breathe, that'd be the way you'd like to live if you're Michigan, and that will make ultimately that new quarterback's job a heck of a lot easier. So Donovan Edwards, huge impact in 2024 for Michigan. We talked about this guy yesterday, but I want to talk about it again. I tried my best, y'all. I did what I could to try and think of somebody new for USC that'd be more impactful. I keep coming back to D'Anton Lynn. And think about it this way, too. Every knock right now in February about USC is about the defense. Mind you, they just lost a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in Caleb Williams. He's gone to the league. And that was a massive loss, obviously. There's a massive, I think, disappointment that you didn't maximize having him on campus. But we're not talking about the offense taking steps backwards. And they might take a step backwards, transparently. I mean, if it's Miller Moss or Maava from UNLV, whoever it is, like the offense might not be as good, but you can manage that a little bit if your defense just takes some sort of incremental step forward. You don't have to be world beaters. Just allow a touchdown less. And USC's probably in a whole heck of a lot more football games. They allowed 34 points a game last year, did USC's defense. What if they're allowing 27? How much does that change the complexion of USC's season in 2024? How different do we talk about USC overall? Because as much as the offense might take a step back, are we really betting that Lincoln Riley doesn't have a quarterback? Is that really how we're going to go about this season? I understand the Big Ten's going to be more difficult. We understand there's going to be stiffer competition. It is what it is. But if the defense is just a little bit better, in large part because of D'Anton Lynn bringing some new juice, some new energy and confidence to that room, I think that changes the way we view USC in this conference title picture. Again, we're not predicting USC to win the Big Ten at this point in time, but D'Anton Lynn will have a lot to say about their success in 2024, leading that defense with the rest of that new defensive staff. Now, Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, another quarterback we had to get to him here. He is the steady, experienced hand you're banking on if you're an Oregon fan to win the Big Ten. Because Bo Nix gone to the league, most experienced college quarterback in the history of the game. You bring in Dylan Gabriel, who's also been around for about a half century playing ball, and we love him for it, man. If you can play ball, keep playing ball. He has a ton of pieces around him. The defense, they bring back 70% of that production from last year's team that took a run for a Pac-12 title. Had a chance to go to the college football playoff. Didn't get it done. You still have explosive weapons. Tez Johnson. You went and got Evan Stewart through the portal. There will be everything Dylan Gabriel needs to be successful in Eugene. Can he maximize it? Can he be that difference maker in those games where it's even roster talent, you're going back and forth? Can he be that playmaker for you to take you above where the roster talent is and make that timely play like he really did against Texas when he was at Oklahoma? He's going to have a massive impact on the Big Ten conference race. And however you feel about Oregon is probably very closely tied to how you feel about Dylan Gabriel. Last one to get to here, offensive coordinator for Nebraska, Marcus Satterfield, man. Like, he is responsible for having a respectable offense in Lincoln. And I want us to get on the same page here. I'm not talking about Nebraska in the context of winning the Big Ten in 2024. Do not hear me incorrectly. This is massive on a macro level for setting up year 3 for Matt Rule. And when I say respectable on offense, they had 18 points a game last year offensively. 18. We understand now. You got bowl game aspirations. That's not going to cut it. You had a defense last year that really probably could have ranked even higher than they did last year. And they were elite last year, allowing 18 points a game defensively. Like, if you get them off the field a little bit more frequently, you give them a little bit more rest as an offense, who knows what Nebraska does? Who knows how many games they end up winning? I guarantee you they go bowling if they scored 24 points a game last year. I digress. On top of that, if you're Marcus Satterfield, you are tasked with bringing along a one Dylan Raiola, most talented quarterback prospect Nebraska's had here in some time. And if he's able to be comfortable, be confident, and have some amount of success his first year on campus, because, again, I wholeheartedly believe he will be your guy for you day one in Nebraska, that's going to set up, again, year 3. Because year 2 for Matt Rule, given the track record for him, year 2 is about kind of getting that snowball rolling a little bit. And when you have success in year 2, it sets up a big year 3. So success in year 2 for me would look a lot like 7-5, 8-4. If you can do that, You can then sell that to recruits, to transfer portal guys. Hey, look at where this thing is headed. Look at the up arrow here. Look at who we got playing quarterback. Look at our success from year 1 to year 2 offensively. If you can pitch that going forward on a macro level, you at least get yourself up off the map if you're Nebraska. So again, we're not calling our shot for Nebraska to be in Indy when it's all said and done that first weekend of December, but I do think this will be massive for them when it comes to their aspirations for the future and beyond with Matt Rule running the show there. So a lot of high-impact names right there. And again, that's not all-encompassing. There's probably more that we would get to in the future. We might do that in the future, but a lot of high-impact names for us to get to, and that's just a short list when it comes to the Big Ten Conference. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.